This is an introduction to TSANet webinar, and it's specifically directed towards limited members. So just a quick overview of what TSANet is. It's about 30 some years old now, so it's certainly not a young alliance, but it was set up as a technology vendor support alliance. It's operates as a not-for-profit. We currently have about 900 companies that are part of TSANet. And the real mission of TSANet is to improve our members' shared customer experiences. So essentially multi-vendor support process. Just a very high level of what the member benefits are. So you get two different things when you join TSANet. The first off the left-hand side is really kind of the operational component of TSANet. And I would say that kind of separates us a little bit from a normal not-for-profit alliance. So we have what we basically term as kind of the best practice method of collaboration. And it's a very simple solution. You access it through TSANet Connect, and it's really designed to simplify everything, which results in a better customer experience, better relationships with your partners, and better employee satisfaction, just with the ease on which they can collaborate with other partners. The other aspect of the TSANet benefit is the community, and there's a few things here that are not part of the limited membership piece, but I just want to show you it in general. So when you take a look at limited members, of course, you have full access to the collaboration framework. There are some features and functionality that you don't get, for example, single sign-on or access to the APIs. Those are for higher level memberships, but you get full access to the TSANet Connect platform to do collaborations. And then on the community side, you do have access to the technical knowledge exchange and then the webinars as well, which I'll talk a little bit about those. So just taking a quick look at the collaboration framework, and this will hopefully explain a little bit how you have arrived at TSANet. So the idea of TSANet is to provide our members with a full framework, right, so that they're able to support all their different technology support models. So if you take a look at the different ways you might interact with a partner in the marketplace, the first one is a common customer. This tends to be partners you probably don't even have a relationship with. In fact, they could be your competitors, and it's really the customer solution that brings you together to try to solve an issue. And this is really kind of the baseline of TSANet, how we started, and really kind of the core use case. Then we have the alliance partners, and this is where you've been brought in. So our elite members are able to configure partner programs on the TSANet platform, and they do this so that they can bring in all of their technology partner programs and have an efficient, consistent way of collaborating with all of them. And of course, some of our members have hundreds of companies that are part of their technology partner programs. And then the third is strategic partners, and of course, this tends to be OEM relationships, solution support, maybe even managed service providers in there. This tends to be a little bit more of a custom solution based on what the business relationship is. So it could be, one vendor takes the lead customer support and they have backline escalation process in place with other vendors. So we kind of put that in the strategic area. But just so you kind of understand the whole picture, and then of course where you as a limited member have been brought in. So you've been brought in through a alliance partner program, through one or more partner programs. So I'm just taking a quick look at the limited member overview. So really kind of three things I would highlight here. The first is when you get onboarded, you essentially end up with a bilateral support collaboration path. So not only can you collaborate with a partner, but the partner can collaborate with you. And I'll show you just briefly how that works. Of course, the benefits of the host are very large, right? So that's of course why they bring their partner programs to the platform. They want an extremely efficient way to manage hundreds of partners, consistent way of collaborating with them, and this is really what what members such as Red Hat, VMware, Palo Alto, etc., are using the platform for. But you as a limited member, you also get benefits as well. Of course, this kind of gives you this is the way that we collaborate, right? It tends to be very fast, very efficient. I'm sure you've had experiences where you partner with someone and it's weeks and months to work out the process and the legal framework and all these types of things, right? This is really an accelerated way to get the relationship going and get the process put in place. And then the other benefit, obviously, is the process is always up to date. The other challenge that you have when you're kind of working directly on a cooperative support agreement or some kind of custom way of working is as soon as you get in place, some contact leaves and, maybe it doesn't get updated, it gets stale very quickly. So with TSANet kind of in the middle, we ensure that this is always up to date. And to give you a sense of the speed, generally speaking, your onboarding process is about 30 minutes, right? You log into the site, you configure your process document, Brittany sends you a test case, and you're onboarded. So it is not a complicated process at all. So taking a quick look at the actual method of collaboration, if you haven't done a collaboration yet, I'll kind of show you how that's done. But this picture kind of shows a little bit how the system works. And I tend to explain it as a just-in-time LinkedIn, right? So you've got a support engineer on your side, and they want to work with another support engineer at the partner that you have a relationship with. So they're going to log into TSANet Connect. They're going to select the partner. They're going to complete their process form. They're going to press submit. It transacts a request over to the receiver, and you get what we call an initial response coming back. And that initial response is, here's my case number, here's my support engineer, here's my contact details, and here's the next steps. So at this point, both the sender engineer and the receiver engineer have everything they need to start to work the case. And you can see here, all of that's happening outside of the system. So you're back in your CRM system, kind of working directly with the other member. Of course, you got their email. Maybe you're logging into a Zoom call or WebEx or what have you. But very flexible then to kind of match your processes. So that is it in a nutshell. As far as the experience goes, you can see here in kind of the screenshots. As soon as your engineer logs in, they're going to see a pull down that's going to highlight the partners that you have access to. And it's going to show a form very similar to off to the right. And again, one of the benefits of TSANet is that everyone's form looks the same. So it's not, this process is completely different from this other member's process. It's just nice and standardized. Of course, you might have a custom field here or there, but for the most part, it's going to request that your engineer enters their case number, which of course they have, the problem details, the customer details, and then select a priority. And one of the things that the system does do is based on the priority that you select, it will communicate to your engineer what the expectations are as far as that initial response. So they know when the response time commitment's going to be made, and of course that's communicated to the receiver as well, and we track that. So really the promise of TSANet Connect is you will get connected with the other member support engineer. As far as the experience that the engineer has outside of the system, they get what we call an email handshake, right? So again, you can see there it's super easy to go to the site, find the partner, fill out the form. And then the engineer is going to get two emails. They get one email as soon as they press submit that has all of the information in it that they submitted, but it also includes this embedded escalation instruction. So this is important in case something goes wrong either during the initial response process or during the resolution process. The engineer knows how to escalate issues. And then you can see here the initial response coming back where you have a case number, you've got a contact, and you kind of have a next steps. And again, we embed the escalation instructions there as well. So your engineer kind of always knows if something goes wrong along the way, they know how to escalate issues. So a few things that I want to highlight as far as how you as a limited member can get value out of TSANet. So obviously, you're onboarded as a limited member. That's why you're invited into this webinar. So that piece is already done. You've already signed up. You already have a relationship with one or more partners. So really the next steps now is to make certain that you do onboard and train your support engineers, right? So this is to allow them to make outbound requests. The second is to take advantage of both the technical knowledge exchange as well as the webinar. So of course, this is one example of a webinar, but we have others that are coming up that either include best practices related to multi-vendor support or something related to TSANet, or it could be something related to support processes in general. So for example, we have one coming up later in March where we invite a kind of an industry person to discuss topics, and for example, how to use AI in your support process, right? So things that are related to maybe helping you on your support standpoint as well. You'll see some of those as webinars. The third thing is that you are able to add additional relationships, and I'll show you how to do that. And of course, you can get invited in by other partners, but you can also go to the system and you can request relationships as well. So like I said, there's elite members that have partner programs, and they use those partner programs to invite you in. So it may be that you're sitting here with one relationship, and a month from now somebody else will invite you in, but you can also be more proactive on that side as well and request additional relationships. And then number 4 is to really kind of understand what the other membership levels are and the benefits, right? So the idea of limited membership is to make it super easy for you to come on and participate in TSANet. Obviously, have that relationship with the partner that invited you in, but ultimately we want you to kind of understand that TSANet is a much larger community, and there's other benefits based on other membership levels. So those are kind of the 4 things. If you take a look at the first one, requesting a new account, this is extremely simple, right? You could put this on your intranet on, instructions on how to get an account for TSANet, and it is a self-registering process. So you don't have to go in and create accounts and all those types of things. You just point your users at connect.tsanet.org. They have a simple little search to find your company, and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, right? And on that page, they can either log in or they can request a new account. And you can see here, it's really as simple as providing your email address. And of course, it has to be related to your domain, because we match that and then send the user a one-time login link. They have to, at that point, answer some questions, set their password, and at that point, they've got to log into the system. So it's very simple, very easy to get access. And the other thing I always stress to limited members as well is you have unlimited users. So it's not the type of thing where, oh, let me only get 1 or 2 users on this. We really like to see you scale it out, right? To certainly provide whatever users that you feel need access to this. There's no restrictions as far as number of users or locations for limited members. So pretty open as far as adding users to the platform. The other piece, as I said, was a technical knowledge exchange and webinars. You will see when you log into the system, there'll be a link to the technical knowledge exchange. Those are 1-hour sessions. We do record those. It's something that we just started last year, so you won't find hundreds of them, but hopefully you'll find some that are very interesting. They're obviously very targeted at support engineers with topics like how do you debug a core file and those types of things, right? So certainly things that your support engineers would find of interest. And then, of course, we also do invite you to webinars. So as a limited member, you can come to the webinars. And like I said, sometimes there are topics that are also discussed in much more detail on the regional focus groups. But as a limited member, you get access to the webinars. Okay, and then the next thing is requesting new relationships. So you can see here how a limited member can request more relationships. You see your partner list off the left-hand side. So when you click that, you'll see the list of partners you have a relationship with. And if you want to request additional relationships, you just go to that Add Partner section, you find the partner, and then there's a simple process for you to submit a request. That does flow through us. We get you in contact with that partner to see if it's something where they invite you in, or something that that we need to have some other process to enable. So some of it does depend on who you want to collaborate with, whether that is something that's free of charge or something that there's some type of cost associated with it. But certainly find the partner you want to work with, submit it, and we'll help work through those issues. So that, I would say, is probably the big action. You know, if you're sitting here as a limited member and you're only using this to work with one partner, and you know you've got 4 other relationships, this is definitely a way to try to standardize on those through TSANet. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to cover was other membership levels, just so you kind of understand, right? Obviously, as a limited member, we covered all the things that you get. So you get everything that you need to collaborate with the partner that you have a relationship with, right? So you can kind of see where the limited members come through an elite members partner program. So that enables you to work with them and you know, have all the functionality of TSANet Connect to accomplish that. And of course, you can have more relationships. So it's designed to kind of scale and let you you know, get value out of TSANet at that kind of entry area. But what you see here is what we call the general membership levels. So as an association, it's a member-driven association. You then, once you go to these areas, you have voting rights, you participate a little bit more in committees, things like that. We have these 3 levels. So you've got the standard, which of course still allows you to join whatever partner programs you want, right? So that's really kind of wide open. But then it also allows you to collaborate with all the members in TSANet general membership on a normal business hours level. So I would say that's kind of the big thing. The second big thing that it adds is the regional focus groups. And we have regional focus groups in North America, in Europe, in India, in Australia, which includes like Philippines, Singapore, et cetera, and then Japan. So that's really a way to start to engage and network with your peers and, you know, share best practices, develop solutions to problems that maybe are complicated to solve by yourself. So that's really the entry level. Premium, of course, gets you into the 7x24. It adds some functionality such as single sign-on, access to critical escalation process. So it really kind of moves into, I would say, more enterprise grade support, mission critical type stuff. And then the elites, like I said, these are the folks that are inviting you in. So they're really the ones that are, I would say, leading in the multi-vendor space. They see this as kind of a strategic part of doing business. Some of them, you know, of course, have the partner programs, but they can also do solution support models. They have access to TSANet Connect system integration through the APIs, bidirectional updates through their CRM system. So definitely more access to some of the tools and functionality. And then they get a success manager as well to help implement some of these things. And then the other thing is this is a level on which you have the ability to apply for a board seat. And we do have elections coming up now. So every year there's board seats that are available. We reach out to the membership, and some of these folks apply as well. So of course, being on the board of directors provides other benefits as well. Okay, and then kind of the last thing here, I want to, you know, obviously encourage you to go to the TSANet site. It's got all the information you could hope for here. And we've got 10 minutes left that I think I'll give you just a quick little demo on how the system works. Okay, And this is actually not the limited member interface, but the only real difference is in the standard, premium, elite. Of course, you've got access to search for any company that you want, right? But that's really the only difference, right? Your interface on the left-hand side would be a pull down where you can see here I've pinned certain favorites. You would have relationships over here, okay? But the process really is you're going to select the member that you have a relationship with, and it's going to take you to this process form. And you can see it's automatically filled in my information. I would enter my internal case number. I would provide a problem summary and the description, right, which of course would include things like what troubleshooting steps I do, those types of things. Here's an example of custom fields. So of course this is VMware. They bring this into their CRM system. So they want certain fields that allow them to bring it to the right group. That helps with that. They're looking for version as well. And then providing the common customer information. So which customer are you working with? And then selecting the priority. And again, you can see what's happening here, right? The system is dynamically telling you what the expectations are, right? So P1s, P2s, and P3s have different SLA commitments. And of course, like I said before, the system is monitoring that. So as soon as you press submit, then your engineer's job is done. So you can see how simple that is. They've come to the system. They just made a request. Now they're back and they're receiving those emails, as I said, and they're back in your CRM system. So it's really designed to be extremely lightweight, extremely consistent, and get your engineer what they're looking for, right? Which is a contact at the other company to work on a common case with you. So that's really what it's designed for. Okay, so that is it. I see we've got about 5 minutes or so left, so maybe we can open it up for questions if anyone has. And of course, we will be recording this as well. But if you have any questions, if you can put those in the chat. Yeah, and here we go. So a little bit more information around the SLAs and response times, right? So as I said, when you sign up for TSANet, either as a general member or you onboard as a limited member, you'll see what's called a relationship addendum, and that will highlight what the SLAs are. They're very consistent, right? It's either next business day, right? In that situation, you are only able to log a P3, or you have full access to all the priorities, and that's P1 is 2 hours, P2 is 4 hours, and P3 is 24 hours. So that is a SLA. And like I said, what we do on our side, when you onboard, you provide a text escalation instruction that is that piece that's embedded back to the member, but you also provide an escalation contact. We don't expose that to the member. What we do is we use that when we trigger the automated escalation emails. So when you do miss an SLA, other emails start to get sent out. It shows up in our queue as well. We may contact you directly if you don't address it in a reasonable amount of time. But again, that's kind of our promise to the members is, hey, you make a request, you get a response within the SLA. If you don't, we chase it down. Okay, let's see. Is AI chat box as first response allowed? Okay, so this is a great question, right? So initial response is supposed to get you a case number and assigned engineer, okay? So certainly that response could include, hey, look at the following knowledge base articles or what have you, right? So having AI and that type of stuff involved is certainly possible, but it can't be in replacement of an actual case number and an actual support engineer contact, right? These tend to be, just so you're aware, they tend to be the hard issues, right? Where there's some more complex troubleshooting required because it's a compatibility issue. These aren't your frontline requests, right? So we really do try to discourage a lot of screening on these and get the right folks involved. It tends to be very low volume, kind of high importance, more complex issues. Let's see, can we use the direct link? Yes, you can. So when you onboard, like I said, you're going to go to, let's see. So if you go to our main website and click member login, this is where I told you guys, hey, go to connect.tsanet.org and you can search for your company, right? And once you find your company, it's going to take you to your login page. And of course, you can see this up here, right? It's your domain.connect.tsanet.org. So you can certainly bookmark that and go directly to this page. You don't need to go through those steps. You could, put that, in a knowledge base article or post it on your internet because this is your landing page. Okay. Let's see what else we have. I love the questions. Is this an official channel? Yes. So on our website, you do have the ability to see our YouTube channel. I will say, and this is, we'll say, kind of a part of the cleanup, right? Some of them in there are fairly old. What I would encourage you to do instead is go to our news and events, and you're going to see all of these blogs, and in some cases there will be webinars. So for example, as soon as we finish this webinar, we're going to record it and you'll find it here, right? So any type of webinar that we do, you're going to be able to see all of those that are happening, right? And again, it could be that there was some on-site meeting. Of course, we'll blog about that, or if it's a webinar, it will always be recorded and you can have access to there. And here's some examples of some, things outside, right? So of course, there's a lot of things about TSANet, but we do partner with other associations and other industry experts, right, to say, hey, why don't you come on and share with our membership something related to best practices. So here you can see where we had, the ASP best support websites came on, and the winners kind of went through their support websites and how did they win, those types of things. So you'll find some other valuable items here as well, just kind of related to the support area. The website's very comprehensive. You can also go under the contact us. We've got a live chat, things like that as well, FAQ. So certainly encourage you to get familiar with the website as well, right? I think that'll show you a lot more bigger picture on what TSANet is, right? And like I say, a lot of times the limited members just get a little slice of what it is. So certainly that's what we try to accomplish on this call, is to give you more insight on how to get value out of it with a relationship that you just formed, but then also how do you discover what else it has to offer as well. Okay, so with that, we'll let you guys go and appreciate everyone's time.